Commuters with special needs could expect a smoother ride in future. Suggestions to help this group were among the recommendations made to the Transport Ministry. The Public Transport Council drew up the list after it polled 11,000 commuters over the past 2 years. And here is more on what it found. Confidence in Singapore's public transport operators took a hit after 2 major rail incidents late last year, dropping from 7.89 to 6.69 on a 10-point scale. This was among the Public Transport Council, or PTC's, findings in its advisory report on how public transport can be enhanced. It came up with over 20 recommendations, which include better infrastructure design, deeper training of service staff, and the use of technology to help commuters who are visually and hearing impaired. For example, an app could provide information on train disruptions through an avatar that uses sign language. A visual countdown timer could also be installed on MRT platforms to let deaf commuters know exactly how much time they have before the train doors close. Bus captains can also be better trained to know the names of landmarks in English, so those who are hard of hearing can reliably seek their help.
So we are asking for various targeted recommendations to be looked at quite seriously. We continue to have conversations with the various associations, with the deaf and those who are visually impaired. They want some assistance, they want some understanding in regard to this particular area.
The report also found that commuters are keen to help one another. So, the Heart Zone and Heart Wheels trials at Outram Park MRT to encourage commuters to help patients trying to get to Singapore General Hospital will be expanded to stations near Tan Tock Seng and Ng Teng Fong hospitals this year.
They were also desiring to do and help a fellow commuter on their journey. And so co-creation has become an exercise that we want to explore further in order to redefine, in order to be able to re-inform the social relationship between one commuter and another commuter.
Another recommendation was to integrate information on various forms of transport, including private hire services and specialized transport, on just one app to improve commuters' door-to-door journey. As the current report largely zooms in on the rail network, the PTC said the next advisory report to be released next year will focus more on the bus system. It added that commuters can expect the new fare formula to be released in the first quarter of this year. Well, meantime, SMRT President and Group Chief Executive Officer Desmond Quek has brushed aside talk that he is set to step down. He spoke on the sidelines of an event today to showcase how the train operators' frontline employees are trained in assisting commuters with special mobility needs. That's all to create a more inclusive transport network.
36-year-old Chong Kwek Bin was born with a condition which causes progressive visual loss. These days, he relies heavily on a cane to get around independently. But when it comes to taking public transport, he says he still finds it a challenge. I joined him on a journey to find out why it was so.
The problem is when you meet bus drivers who are not so well-trained, perhaps. Right? So you talk to them, but sometimes they answer with a nod or a shake, so which is not going to do for me because I can't tell whether they're nodding their head or shaking. So usually it's because of communication. I have problems communicating with people to get to where I want to go. That is usually the kind of unpleasant experience I might have.
To travel on the MRT, he uses what's left of his vision to read the maps and signs. But Kwek Bin says it's sometimes difficult for him to do so when the fonts are small and when the MRT station is not well lit. To help the visually impaired are these ground tactile indicators, but navigating the train stations can still be challenging, especially during peak hours. This is when service staff can step in to help. And SMRT's frontline staff are now being trained to do that. A new program to train its staff on how to help the elderly and those with special needs was introduced in October last year. The one-day training comprises classroom and hands-on sessions where staff learn things like the correct way of interacting with people in wheelchairs.
I learned a lot of things and the tactic of handling the handicap. For example, that I need the wheelchair, I need to talk to eye level, before while we're talking to them. And then like handling handicap, is I need to ask permission first before I just straight away push them.
SMRT Chief Desmond Quek, who was present at the launch of the initiative, was also asked about the media report suggesting that he is expected to step down. In response, he had this to say.
That's purely speculative.
About 350 SMRT frontline employees have undergone training, with 1,000 more to complete theirs by July.